What is good, everybody? My name is Kyato. Today we are on Dragon Ball Legends doing a cohesive equipment guide, simple, straight to the point. Before we get into it, I'll just ask you to like and subscribe. It would really help me out. So firstly, we'll just have to cover what equipments do you use. So every equipment in the game has a specific conditions. You either have to be a tag or a episode. So based on each character, you will have to meet those. So each character will have different equipments to use. And then let's discover what these equipments do. So for example, the equipments buff 5 different types of base stats. This one covers every single one. So we will have base health, base defenses, and base attack. So what are these referring to? They are referring to the base stats of your character, as it says here: health, range attack, defense, and everything. So that is what that is referring to. It'll give you, for example, 20% health or 20% strike attack. That'll be 20% of this base stat. Pretty self-explanatory. So the higher stars your character, the more the equipment will actually buff. There's also special move damage. So this will obviously, buff your special move attack. Now, special move is actually more correlated to the base stats of your character as well. So let's say Super Baby 2 here has a ranged blue card special move, which what is that referring to? Ranged blue card. So the more base blast he has, the more damage the blue card will do. That is how it scales. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, he has a melee blue card. So the more base strike attack he has, the more damage the blue card will do. And then the special move damage from the equipments, such as this one, goes on top of that. So it'll scale the sum of that. Okay, also, there are equipments such as this one, which give health restoration. These are good on transforming units, revival units that don't revive with 100%, and units that have, a lot of healing in their kit, such as this Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That is why this PvP equip is very good for him, because this one also has health restoration. And lastly, there is these two that I'm about to mention are pretty useless, but there's a base Q recovery, and there's also, let's see if I have a unit which has it, base critical. So these they really don't do much, I'm not gonna lie to you. That is for the base equipments. So let's just say, for example, equipments like this says base strike attack, but in this second slot it says just 5% to a strike attack. So what that means is I'm not referring to the base stats of your character. It is actually adding up all the base you get from the build. So that is coming from obviously the equipments you have, but also the Z abilities of your entire party. Zenkai abilities is where you get most of your base. So as you can see here, it all says base out. That is what you will get. It is the same as the equipments, so except it's giving a lot more here, as you could see. So it is adding up all the base you're getting from the build, equipments, Zenkai buffs, and Z abilities. It's adding up that number and then multiplying the sum. So this one saying 5% per future or hybrid Saiyan. So I'm getting 15% pure strike attack. So add all the base together and then multiply that number. And as you can imagine, that will be a lot more beneficial than using a base equipment for this specific build, because I'm already getting so much base. That's why I have these pure equips going. And that's what it's called. It's called pure equips. So those are very beneficial. and that goes for everything, all 4 main base, which is you could have pure offenses and defenses. That's the different types of stats the equipments are giving you. There is some nuance with these equipments, like how I just showed. This one's giving 5% pure per future hybrid Saiyan. Say this one's per each Vegeta clan, 8% pure strike and blast attack. And, let's just say this one is 7% base offenses per party member using the same equipment. So this will have you keep your team build in check, not running some random stuff to benefit you. So that is how you can stack a lot more base and pure going for yourself. Let's cover why you should use these equipments, and we're going to get into how you get these equipments after we're just understanding what they do and why you would run them. So you would run these base equipments for if you do not have a lot of Zenkai buffs. Let's say if you have less than 150% base from the Z abilities and the Zenkai buffs, you would actually benefit. The number multiplied is actually going to be more from a base equipment than actually a pure equipment if you do not have the Zenkai buffs going for yourself. So that is why these base equipments are going to be more beneficial if you do not have, 4 times Zenkai buff or whatever, 2 times Zenkai buff, even a Zenkai buff, then you will probably want to do base equipments. So you basically just want to use the base equipments when you are not getting a lot of base, self-explanatory. And you're going to be wanting to run the pure equipments when you are getting a lot of base, so the number multiplied will be better than a base equipment. Also, we should probably take a look at why you would run the HP equipments, which have gone up in value, because as you can see on none of my teams I'm really running an HP buff, because in this meta you really just want to be focusing on pure damage before anything else, and defenses. HP is really the best defensive stat. However, you really just want to be prioritizing damage in this meta. So that is why you'll see me rocking a lot of these equipments with a base health, because it's going to be more beneficial if you don't have an HP bench. If you're wondering about if you should have an HP bench or not, or how you should be really doing the team building to maximize these equipments, I'll have you go check out my team building guide that was made recently in the description below. Anyways, now let's finally cover how you can get these equipments. So I have said that each character has specific equipments that they can run. So the easiest way to see which equipment is best for your character is we can just click on this recommended button and then go to equipment. And here we will be shown the 6 most popular equipments that are used on this character. Now, this is not the 6 best equipments or the 6 most optimal equipments. These are just really popular characters that really popular equipments that a lot of people use on the character. However, they do obviously have some pretty good options here. However, as you can see, I'm not running any of these equipments that are recommended on this specific team build. So that just goes to show those equipments are not always the best. It always depends on your team build. Anyways, so you can always go to the archive to see every single equipment in the game, and then you can filter by your character's tags. So let's say I wanted equipments for Namegoku there, I can filter by Saiyan, I can filter by Super Saiyan, I can filter by Sun Family, I can filter by the episode of Frieza Saga. Alternatively, just look up on YouTube, equipment guide for the character, what are the best equipment, how you want to team build the character. So that is how you get the equipments, you figure out which equipments can the character run. You decide what does your character need the most. The main way to really find, you know, where to get the equipments is, let's just say, I don't know, let's say I want one of these pure offenses and health equipment. You just go how to get, and that's simple as that, and then you can exchange for that. And let's cover what equipments do base and what equipments do the pure offenses. So the most good base equipments are from the Ultimate Equipment Collection here. This is basically your bread and butter if you need more base stats on your character. If you don't have the Zenkai buffs, these equipments are usually high in base and really specific for characters. So let's just, for example, let's just look at this one. It's ultimate damage and 35 both base offenses. And all of these equipments are really good in their own right. There are some pure equipments scattered throughout here, but it's mostly all base equipments. And how you get the pure equipments. So these ones are actually easier to come by because most PvP equipments are pure equipments. So, you know, look through any of these. This one's pure strike defense. This one's pure blast attack. This one's pure offenses. These are all really good pure equipments for specific characters and for when they came out. And, you know, all of them pretty much have health as well. So that is also a very beneficial thing to have on your team build. So these PvP equips are very good to run if you are looking for pure, if you're looking for HP, and, you know, also some sprinkled in base stats as well. You can never really go wrong with the PvP equip. However, they are specific, so this one's for Sun family, but you would have to check the condition to actually get the pure equip, the pure slot here. So you'd have to be Cell Saga. This one's good for Android, but you would have to be Cell Saga. So you'd have to really read the equipments before you just slap on any equipment. And also, this is the hardest one in my opinion. All of these, well, most of them, all of these co-op equipments are pretty much pure equips, and these are only through the co-op exchange medals. So they are actually really annoying to get, and the rates on them are pretty bad. However, if you look at them, they are very good equipments. So if you look at any, you know, YouTuber's team build, they will likely have, you know, a couple of these sprinkled in. These are pretty much the best equipments in the game if you have the Zenkai buffs going and you're looking for some pure equips. Not all of them are pure, such as, you know, this one. It's giving you base defenses per party member using this equipment, which obviously it could be up to 42, so that's really good. This one's the same thing, just for a different tag. So these are very good if you are looking for base as well. So yeah, there's some of that sprinkled in here, but most of these are pure equips, and they also have base in them as well. Some have HP, but you're gonna be, if you're looking to have the optimal equipment, so you're gonna be wanting to get them from here, although they are very annoying to farm. Speaking of annoying to farm, we have not covered awakened equipments yet. So these are a mix of both. They're a mix of pure and they're a mix of base. You know, it depends on which one we're looking at. These are also next to the co-op equips and the PvP equips, like the best equipments in the game. So you will need the memory, and then you will need these fragments, and then, you know, you could batch upgrade it, and then it'll stop if it gets a orange. So let's just do that. So yeah, these are really annoying to farm and very resource intensive. If you're looking for where to get all of these fragments from, they are all in the USTR shop here, if you go to other, you will see every fragment in the game here. And alternatively, I would always recommend just going to the archive. You filter by gold, scroll down, and you will see the every awaken equipment in the game here, and then you can just long tap on it and go how to get. This one's not out yet, but will come out next week with the new USTR. These, we always get a new awaken equip when we get the USTR. Anyways, so gone on long enough about what equipments there are and why you should be using them. Now let's go on about how to actually get godly Z+, Z or whatever, you know, these high rarity equips that you want to be, you know, that look cool, you know, you want to be running them to really be optimal. So there is no secret way to actually get godlies. You know, I was really surprised hearing that when I first started playing the game. I was like, yo, this shit is impossible. How can I get these godly equips? There is no secret way. All it takes is a lot of time, a lot of resources, mainly just a lot of resources. So you'll want to farm the raids if one is available for the slot removers, or you could farm PvP as well for those to go to the exchange shop, and you can exchange for slot removers. Also on the weekends, you skip the Super Zenny to get gold bars to get the Zenny that you need, because it's you need a lot when upgrading equipments, especially if you do not get lucky. And also soul exchange medals, these are basically just from the raid as well. If there's one available, you can get 100 per raid. To get a godly equip, the first lot is going to need to be 0.93% of the maximum it can be. So for example, this one is 15%. So let's say 10 is 9.3, and then half of that would be 4.75. So 9.3.4.75 is like 13. So I don't know. The easiest way to do it is to go to your calculator here. Because I want to say like 13 point or 14. I don't know. 15 times 0.93, 13.95. I was around there. So by that standard, I can get this godly. And to actually get it there, you will just need to roll it and roll it and roll it until you can get these gold slots. You would just have it stop on the gold slots, and then from there on you can just guarantee the equipment. Might as well. It'll take a bunch of resources, but it'll give you a guaranteed upgrade, so you don't actually have to manually, you know, roll it. You'll have to roll it until you can get a gold slot, and then from there on you can just guarantee upgrade it until it gets godly. But yeah, there's no magical way to get a gold slot. It is all based on RNG, luck factor. If you're not looking for godly because it's just a symbol, it's just a cosmetic, and it's pointing out the equipment is, you know, the max it can be. If you're just looking for a Z+, all you'll really need is a gold slot, and then rule of thumb, if it's a gold first slot, it can be Z+. In conclusion, we have covered what equipments are, why to use them, how to get them, and how to try to keep it simple for you guys, concise for the beginners. But yeah, it takes a lot of time and resources, so don't give up and you will be there in due time. Make sure to comment down below if you have any questions, and always stay up, stay legendary, y'all boys.